rise for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning and welcome to RPtv. Today is Wednesday, May 11th, 2022. We're almost there. The weather seems to be getting warmer and it feels more like a spring, of course. That means there could be rain. Let's go to Julian for the upcoming forecasts.
Unlike last weekend, which was chilly, windy, and extremely wet across most of the Garden State, the upcoming weekend is expected to feature a warmer temperature, that of a tropical of May, with highs reaching low to mid-70s in many areas and making a run for the upper 70s in others. But forecasters from the National Weather Service say the warm temperatures will be accompanied by scattered rain showers on Friday, occasional showers, and a chance of isolated thunderstorms on Saturday and Sunday. Although most of the state has pleasant weather conditions Tuesday afternoon with mostly sunny skies and temperatures in the upper 60s and on the way into the lower 70s, strong wind gusts continue to blow along the Jersey Shore because of a storm system that continues to linger off the coast of North Carolina. It's the same system that gave us the miserable weather on Mother's Day weekend.
In just a few days, you may be able to see a spectacular astronomical event. We just have to hope that the weather cooperates and the skies are clear. Let's go back to Julian for that report.
A total lunar eclipse is coming soon, which means the full flower moon of May 2022 will be turning into the reddish-orange blood moon for almost 90 minutes. Astronomy experts at Space.com call it one of nature's most beautiful spectacles and a must-see sky-watching event. People across the United States, including New Jersey and Pennsylvania, will have an opportunity to see the upcoming lunar eclipse. During a lunar eclipse, the sun, earth, and moon become closely aligned in the sky, and the bright moon slowly turns darker and it changes into a color as it drifts across the earth's shadow. Light reflecting from the sun makes the moon appear to glow in a rusty orange or reddish color, so many astronomy experts and writers refer to this as the blood moon. In the New York City region, the nearly full moon is scheduled in rising to start in the east and southeastern sky at about 7:50 p.m. Sunday, May 15th. The main phase of the lunar eclipse, known as totality, will start around 11:30 p.m. Sunday, and the moon will be inside the Earth's shadow. That's when it will take on that orangish or maybe reddish color. The eclipse should reach its maximum phase about 12:14 a.m. when the moon will be officially full and completely shaded by our planet's shadow. The total eclipse will last from about 11:30 p.m. Sunday to around 12:55 a.m. Monday.
Now it's time for announcements. Joey's Rotisseria is hiring dishwashers and someone to answer the phone and take orders. Please call Joanne at 917-669-7636 for more information or in person to fill out an application at 547 Westfield Avenue, Roselle Park. Attention students, CNN 10 is looking for original artwork featuring the number 10 to use in their new show opening. They are particularly interested in creative 10s that illustrate something cool about the place where you live. If you'd like to contribute, just contact Miss Gustro in room 102 for more information and details. French Club will be meeting in room 3 at 2:40 p.m. on the following dates, May 12th, May 19th. Applications are available in the main office for the Union County Sheriff's Office Youth Police Academy. Don't miss out on this great opportunity. Seniors, graduation will be here before you know it. Make sure you complete the project graduation survey and order the PTSA lawn sign. In case you missed it, a member of the Roselle Park community was featured on a recent episode of America's Funniest Home Videos. There is no telling how high this star will rise, and if you happen to meet him, don't expect to get an autograph. Let's check out the video.
In movies, there's always that chase scene in the third act that's accompanied by exciting music where you forget what the movie's even about. Now, this montage is a tribute to those classic chase scenes, and there's no plot, so you don't have to worry about forgetting what it is. How refreshing.
Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and stay tuned for CNN 10.
The value of Bitcoin, the levels of 2 large lakes, and a new Facebook store are all dropping. Unfortunately, gas prices aren't, and that's where we start today's show. I'm Carl Azus. On Tuesday, the AAA Automobile Association reported that America's gas prices had reached their highest level ever at $4.37 per gallon on average. They've risen 17 cents in the past week. Gas prices steadily climbed throughout last year. They've only gotten worse since Russia invaded Ukraine in February. And while U.S. President Joe Biden has repeatedly blamed Russia for higher fuel and energy prices, the American leader's critics say he hasn't done enough to bring them down. The cost of gas is a major driver of inflation. Since late 2021, prices have been rising at their highest rate in decades. The president says he doesn't know whether inflation will calm down later this year or get worse next year. He says different economists have different predictions on that, but he says his administration has to do all it can to bring down inflation.
I know the families all across America are hurting because of inflation. I want every American to know that I'm taking inflation very seriously, and it's my top domestic priority.
The White House has blamed Republicans for using inflation as a, quote, political talking point in advance of this year's midterm elections, but not taking action to reduce costs for Americans. But Democrats control the White House and both chambers of Congress, and a recent CNN poll conducted by SSRS found that more than 2/3 of Americans don't think the Democratic Party's economic visions match up with their own. Analysts say the president didn't offer any new proposals for curbing inflation, but the Biden administration is considering lifting tariffs or taxes on certain goods imported from China. Up next, when we've talked about Bitcoin, the world's most famous cryptocurrency, one thing we've pointed out is that it's volatile. Up one day, down the next. Digital currencies aren't controlled by a bank or government, and that's what their fans like about them. They'd rather that crypto's value be determined by a network of computers instead of a country. But the downside is, cryptocurrencies aren't stable. High inflation drives down their value, and when technology stocks drop, crypto can too. Late last year, the value of one Bitcoin was close to $70,000. At one point yesterday, it was below $32,000. So mining Bitcoin, which takes a lot of computers and electricity, can be considered risky.
Cool, damp, bucolic. This place is perfect for apples and perfect for Bitcoin mining. Plenty of land for mining farms. Servers don't need as much AC to cool them. All that water means cheap green hydroelectricity, and
electricity is about 65% of our total costs.
8,000 servers right here. All these about 15 grand each.
You're pouring a lot of money into this. That's correct.
A quarter of all the electricity generated here in Douglas County now powers Bitcoin mining. Many locals still trying to wrap their heads around it.
We understand the process of growing fruit, and you see it progress. You don't see the Bitcoin.
Here's how Bitcoin mining works. Hundreds of Bitcoin transactions, Biff pays Candy, Morag pays Hamish, Suraj pays Uma, are bundled into a block. Computers like these all over the world race to solve a complex math problem. The winner gets to upload that block to the blockchain, a vast ledger now more than 700,000 blocks long. A new block is uploaded every 10 minutes. Mine a block and you earn 6.25 Bitcoin.
And this location is one of 7 locations that we built and operate in this region.
China was the global Bitcoin mining capital, but last year the Communist Party cracked down.
And a lot of it migrated to the US. And it happened really quickly. As of right now, the estimates are that 35% of the world's Bitcoin mining is now in the US.
10-second trivia. Which of these bodies of water is the most shallow? Sea of Azov, Lake Erie, Ohio River, or Colorado River? With an average depth of 20 feet, the Colorado River is the shallowest body of water on this list. Most of its water starts out as snow in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado, Utah, and Wyoming. As it melts in the spring, it eventually flows into the Colorado River and then runs southwest through Arizona and Nevada. In all, 7 western states and part of Mexico benefit from the Colorado River. It irrigates more than 5 million acres of farmland. Parts of it flooded in 2018, but today, whether you're talking about Lake Mead on the border of Arizona and Nevada, or Lake Powell on the border of Arizona and Utah, you're talking about part of the American Southwest, fed by the Colorado River, where an ongoing drought is changing some landscapes and threatening to change some livelihoods.
Just a couple years ago, this part of Lake Powell was pretty enough to put in the brochure. But today, there is no water, only sand.
Can't paddle around Lone Rock anymore.
If you haven't been out west in a while, haven't seen the state of the Colorado River and its reservoirs, you would be shocked. This is what Powell looked like just last spring, when you could still float around Lone Rock, but the satellite shows it losing island status as the lake level fell over 40 feet.
And the lake used to go half a mile around the corner. And now it starts way back here. I cannot believe this.
While hurricanes, floods, and wildfires can upend your life in a moment, droughts are slow-motion disasters. And this one is now in its 23rd year. With the region's population booming and another winter without enough snow, there are no signs of relief.
But when you are houseboating on what's left of Lake Powell, it's still gorgeous. It's still so easy to forget that just since the mid-'80s, the water level has dropped 177 feet. That's like 10 of these yachts stacked on top of each other.
This is a temporary dock to get us access to the marina.
So the tourism industry has no choice but to adapt, making ramps longer as the lake gets lower.
This was connected straight up there. So
at one point we would have been high enough that would have been a straight angle.
Yeah.
This is not a decade or two. This is a year or two since it's dropped.
Yeah, this is within 2 to 3 years.
If it continues to go down another 10, 15 feet, we might have to shut down.
For Max Lapicus, the changing canyons means more people eager to explore them in his rental kayaks and paddleboards, but not enough safe places to put them in. And he knows that big picture, 40 million people and their animals and crops in 7 states in Mexico depend on Colorado River water, not to recreate, but to live.
Man-made climate change, I do believe, is a thing to a certain extent, but I do believe the Earth goes through cycles, and this could just be another cycle. But I don't see any good evidence of it getting any better anytime soon.
Some of it is man-made, there's no doubt about it. You've got more users using the water out of the Colorado River. You've got more of everything than you had 50 years ago. It's that simple.
Would you label your business a victim of drought?
We've had to change the way we do a lot of things. At this point, I would not say we're a victim. I would say we're an adapter.
And from now on, it seems anyone who wants to live in the American Southwest will have to be an adapter.
Scientists tell us this is the worst drought in 1,200 years, and for the first time they're restricting some of the allocation rights of the Colorado River water. Some farmers in Arizona are among the first having to cut back. It'll change the way agriculture operates going forward, city development going forward, because if this drought, heaven forbid, continues and the population keeps booming, adapting means learning to live with a lot less water.
Even though Amazon and Microsoft have closed many of their retail stores, Facebook parent company Meta has opened its first. What could you buy there? Virtual reality headsets and video calling devices for when you can't or don't want to physically share the same space with others. It's also a place for people to try out new applications and video games. It could be an extensive, immersive experience, assuming you're not prone to motion sickness. But whether it makes people more metaversed in technology, putting them on an Oculus Quest for meta world peace, or if it just becomes a PlayStation that revives daydream views when they're linked up, the reality is it's still virtual, and the neo-focus they envision through the HoloLens is still a mirage. Somersworth Middle School, we see you watching from Somersworth, New Hampshire. Thank you for doing that. People over age 13 can request a mention by subscribing and commenting on our YouTube channel. I'm Carl Azus.